Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you guys about different kinds of paint. So you'll get paint, sometimes you'll buy it, you don't even know you'll get a different kind that you've never had before, and you'll take it home and you'll open it and you'll realize that it's either too thick or too thin. It can be saved and used. You can either, if it's too thin, you can make it more thick with something like gloss gel. You'll put gloss gel like a little bit, boom, in like a cup and like a little, on your palette, and you'll take the color and you'll mix it, and it'll become thicker so that it makes a better dot. Or if it's too thick, like super goopy, then like you're trying to dot it and it makes a big point, like a peak on, you don't want it like that. Later I'll show you like what kind of dots you want to see, what kind of dots you want. But for now, you'll need something like pouring medium, which I got this at Hobby Lobby. Or you can get it this brand's also really good. And then Folk Art makes little tiny bottles of pouring medium. So if you're not putting a lot, you might just only need a tiny bottle. But you can also use the medium if you want to for top coating as well. So that's why I have the Liquitex, because I sometimes use it for top coating and also for thinning paints that are too thick. But I try not to buy paints that aren't the right consistency anymore. Like I used to try all different kinds, like I didn't know, like nobody told me, whatever. So I would try different kinds, like, you go in there, like paint bottles are super cheap. So you'll go buy a couple and then you'll get home and try to use them and you're like, oh shit, this is way too thin. And then when you try to thicken it, the thickener kind of breaks apart the color a little bit, so it's not as vibrant or bright, the colors. So I prefer not to have to thicken or thin my paints if I don't have to. So the paints that are thicker, usually the more expensive acrylic paints that professional painters use, are they're called heavier bodied, right? They're heavy body paints, heavy body acrylics. So they're thicker, and so you have to thin those kind of paints if you want to use them. So like I have a whole bunch of them. So if I want to use them, I use a little bit of pouring medium and then a little bit of water, which I use this little dropper, and I'll add like a couple drops of water and I'll whip. After you do this enough, like you can kind of tell by looking at the paint, like is it too thick, too thin, like do you need to thin it or whatever. But this kind of paint, this is like an amateur's, like professional type paint, whatever. It's not for dot painting, but it's got good color saturation. So the kind of paint that you buy, if it's cheap, it's not going to be saturated with much color, so it's going to be thin, and you're going to have to it's probably not going to work. So anyway, the thicker ones work better than the thinner ones, better than thickening the thin ones. Thinning the thick ones gives you better color. So anyway, so Master's Touch has a whole bunch of different kinds of it. I tried their metallics. I don't recommend these at all. Don't ever use this kind of paint. Metallic Master's Touch, it doesn't work. You can thin it, you can thicken it, it just doesn't work. It's fucking super shitty. And so then there is the Master's Touch fluorescent paints. They make a few of them. These are super bright, but you have to kind of do 2 dots because it's kind of thin. I mean, it's not thin, but it's the color on it, it's not very saturated. So you can thicken it a little bit with whatever. I personally don't like them. I have different iridescent paints that are thinner that I don't have to fuck with them. I can just use them and they're better. So anyway, if you ever decide you're gonna buy these, you can use these, but you're gonna probably have to put a little bit of thickener in them, and then the color's not going to be as bright. But I'll show you guys later what it looks like when you use fluorescent on, or any other color that glows under black light on canvas. It looks so cool. Anyway, peace, y'all.